from their perspective, the problem isn't like kidnapping little kids like Liam. The problem is that you are aware of it and you're mad about it. All right, that was David Dayen, one of my favorite guests on the broadcast. Always informative, incredible work as always. This is the type of stuff this is the nitty and the gritty. A lot of the stuff that you don't normally get elsewhere, with the exception of like Majority Report or maybe Democracy Now. This is the stuff that actually matters. This is the legislative side of things. I think it's very important to cover it. That's why I always cover this side as well, to talk about like what the politicians should be doing instead of just simply saying like, oh, this is a bourgeois electoral system, it doesn't matter. You need to you need to understand, if politics is the art of possible, people like David are constantly pushing the needle and constantly teaching people what is actually possible. And it's especially pertinent right now to talk about, considering that there is this funding initiative, this back and forth that's taking place in the Senate. And the reason why I mention this is because it does feel to me like the Democrats, instead of using this opportunity, seizing on this opportunity, this real enmity that people feel towards ICE, towards these mass deportation protocols, using the spotlight to sedate the masses, to neuter this discontent, to try to make it seem like they're doing the bare minimum while not doing anything at all. And I think it's really important that people understand that this is not simply Democratic ineptitude. I don't believe it's Democratic ineptitude. I don't think this is incompetence. I think this is when Democrats are competent. They are competently appeasing. They are behaving as a controlled opposition party. So do you think short of abolishing ICE right now, the Democrats should be pairing the demands Murphy made with clawing back? Yes. BBB funding, yes. Absolutely. And I think the only vehicle that Congress currently has is the power of the purse, right? It's the only impactful thing that they can do beyond, gumming up the works elsewhere, like David was suggesting, also by utilizing the power of the purse. And that is exactly what they should be doing. And they should be making an ask. The problem is the Democrats never make an ask of the Republicans. They ask the Republicans what they want and then make it seem like it's their position. And this is something that is very important to understand. Why am I saying this? Well, the reason why I'm bringing this up is because there are people who say dumb like this, right? Going back to like cringe Twitter liberals. Establishment Dem politicians do not hate their Republican counterparts nearly enough, I said. They are nowhere near the level of anger we're at. To which this moron replied with, cringe Maoist LARPer, have you considered the economic anxiety of those poor Trump voters? Nicole, suburban mom and successful corporate lawyer. Every Republican alive is an affront to God. To which I replied with, are you illiterate? I'm talking about the establishment politicians not listening to either of those people, you moron. I love the radical suburban Dem voter. They agree with me on this, as polls clearly indicate. Utterly irrelevant, yet very funny meme. But this is the issue. A lot of these guys, on the internet at least, like a lot of these like liberal spokespeople that are constantly riding the Democrats into oblivion, are playing a role in also sedating the masses. The masses are experiencing discontent. They're actually letting their position be known down to the suburban housewives that are out there in the streets organizing against ICE, recognizing the moment. And the Democrats are doing their very best to say, hey, we hear you. We're not going to give you anything, which is ironic because that's precisely what I was mentioning here in my first statement that he did not understand and replied to. Nancy Pelosi was saying we need a strong Republican Party. Dem establishment has no hate for Republican counterparts. Exactly. Fuentes admitting woke is back. Oh, hell yeah. Fuentes warns us that dark woke is back and people need to start being very careful about what they say online. Good. It's true. And we will come after them. Why is Keith Ellison the only Dem enforcing Admin Procedure Act for a court order ending DHS deployment of ICE? I mean, good luck getting others on board. But the reason why, FYI, that's 100% Midas touch. They're still going for the ICE needs more training. Yes, I think a lot of liberals that occupy this space that have some motion in the independent side, okay, they are just regurgitating whatever the Democratic Party is saying right now instead of offering adequate commentary and even warranted criticism towards what the establishment Dems are currently doing. The establishment Dems are currently trying to figure out a pressure valve out of this situation, okay? They're not invested in real solutions. They're not invested in putting up a strong opposition. They're not invested in clawing back safety and security for their constituents. They are simply invested in, and I'm not saying this as like a hater of the Democrats or anything like that. I just want them to do more. I want them to do what they're supposed to be doing. I want them to lean in to the organic discontent that exists out there. ICE breaks the law, courts order them to stop, and then they keep breaking the law. You have to be dumb as bricks to think that the answer is to pass a law saying it's against the law to break the law. The answer is to stop giving these fascist goons billions of our tax dollars. And even if you want to put a damper on ICE's parade, even if you know that you can't abolish them right now, then the very least you can do is start the conversation with abolish ICE so that you can move in the direction of clawing back some of these funds. Force the Republicans to concede, not vice versa. The problem is Democrats in general do not force the Republicans to concede at all. They concede ahead of time and then make it seem like that's their opposition. Their opposition is no real opposition at all. This is my anger. This is my frustration. This is my demand from the Democrats, especially because they have this organic buildup. It blows my mind that they are so firmly invested. They are so firmly invested in neutering the public discontent rather than actually using the public discontent, whether it be for cynical electioneering, like whether it be for cynical election winning purposes, or whether it be because you actually want to make change happen. They are not doing it at all. This is identical to the main problem that I have with the Democratic Party's campaign strategy in the last election cycle. And the same liberals who are not like liberal politicians and not the liberal voters in general, but the same liberal independent content creators are running into the exact same problem once again. They are refusing to critique the Democrats when the Democrats have the opportunity to push. The Democratic politicians have the leverage right now, and these guys are basically following along the National Democratic Party and just basically repeating what the Chuck Schumer is saying. It's unimaginably frustrating. Great, genuine question from here. Why do you think ICE can't be reformed, but the Democratic Party can be? Oh my Lord. It doesn't matter if the Democratic Party can be reformed or not right now, okay? It's just the only mechanism that we have. How dense can anti-electoralist leftists be? Please understand. You're mad because you know the chatter is right? No, dude, I understand where the chatter is coming from, but there is no alternative right now, okay? That's it. Why do you guys refuse to comprehend what I'm trying to do here? What I'm trying to do is basically explain to the liberals that are still hanging on to the notion, the false notion that the Democrats are actually, trying to lean into their demands when they're not doing so, while simultaneously also trying to educate people that you have to organize outside of the Democratic Party. We need to abolish the Democrats, genius. Okay, guys. How many times do I have to have the same exact conversation every single day? Okay. Meet the moment. Recognize where the masses are. There is tremendous discontent amongst the masses against the Democratic Party as well. One must ask the question, why? A question liberals refuse to ask. If you are a anti-electoralist leftist, right, and you believe in building the revolutionary vanguard, you should recognize that this is a time for you to heighten and expose the contradictions that exist with what the Democrats are saying they're invested in doing and what they're actually doing. When you turn around and yell at me in the process of educating people, educating liberals in general as to why the Democrats are squandering their opportunities over and over again, why they're playing the role of controlled opposition over and over again, you're not actually doing anything productive. You're just being annoying. You're being a nuisance in the chat. I'm sorry. I love all of you guys. I think you guys are kind individuals in general. Your heart is in the right place. But this is not a productive conversation to have over and over again. All you're doing is like relitigating positions that I'm already not oblivious to. I know what it is. I know what's going on. I'm explaining it to people who don't know what's going on. There were initial demands from Dem donors asking party leaders to put their bodies on the line when Trump was first elected, and Dems took those demands and sank them. Exactly. The reality of the matter is like voting blue, no matter who, is obviously demonstrably not winning anything for us. It's not winning power for us, especially because when we do vote for these people, they end up using their position of power, their position of marginal power, to knock the wind out of the sails of the existing momentum. Because that's exactly what's going on right now. Candace Owens and Bossum Yusuf Live. I don't really care about this. I'm sorry. Like, no disrespect, but like, that's a crazy thing to sidestep into right now. Shouts out to Bossum, but you feel me? Hold on. My food is here. Stop growling. You're not a guard dog. I hope this was good. It was a good education for a lot of liberals in my community, because I know there are plenty of you out there who are like out of options, out of ideas, constantly trying to figure out why the very reasonable demands that you and your neighbors are making are not being met by the Democratic Party. I hope this is helpful in educating you as to why they are not invested in making these tangible changes, no matter how hard people are demanding it. It's the same situation down the line when it comes down to like not offering Medicare for all as a substitute for the failed privatized healthcare system. And it's the same here as well. Their goal is not to actually make these changes. Their goal is to simply sit there and get you to quiet down by going, oh, we tried our best and we ran out of options. I want them to truly try their best, not to just simply say, you're chewing hella loud, bro. I haven't even started chewing yet. I'll show you what chewing hella loud looks like in a moment, okay? I'll chew so hard your head will spin. What's on the menu? I've been going teriyaki, grilled chicken teriyaki for a little bit now. That's what I've been swapping out to. Let's take a look at what the Manu Raju was saying.
Senator, do you guys have a deal to avoid a government shutdown?
Well, we're trending in the right direction, but I don't think we're quite there yet.
Have you talked to the White House about what to do?
Yes.
And what have they said?
Will this pass?
Their work, I think there are discussions going on between the Senate Democrats and the White House, and hopefully that'll land soon. But right now, I think it's still a bit of a work in progress.
But just the fact that the White House is moving in the Democrats' direction is a sign of where this issue is politically at this moment, Dan. In the last government shutdown, you'll remember the White House, Senate Republican leaders dug in. They said no negotiations with Democrats whatsoever. Now the White House is agreeing with the Democrats' approach to allow for a separate negotiation over ICE. And that is the big question. What will they ultimately agree with Democrats on to clamp down on how ICE is being deployed across the country? But just the fact that the White House is moving in the Democrats' direction just tells you where they view this moment politically, trying to respond to the public outcry that is growing in the aftermath of those two deadly shootings in Minneapolis.
They're not.
Yeah. That is such an important point, Manu. Thank you so much.
This is, in many respects, no different than the government shutdown battle. Democrats are trying to hand over a victory to the Trump administration right now. I know it doesn't seem like it. I know CNN's analysis makes it seem as though that's not the case. They make it seem as though the Republicans are actually caving. They are not the ones who are caving. Democrats are not listening to the demands being made by their base of support. They're not taking a maximalist approach here and then forcing the Republicans to concede. They're actually taking the Republican agenda items and making it seem like those are the Democrats' own agenda items, down to the forcing local law enforcement and ICE to cooperate with one another line item that is directly a demand that J.D. Vance has made time and time again. The very same institutional corruption and lack of interest in making the reasonable changes that people are demanding that exists in Minneapolis is playing itself out in the National Democratic Party in this congressional battle that is not really a battle at all. That's precisely what's going on here. Why are you taking out the potatoes? I'm not. I'm putting the chicken on I'm weighing my chicken. I'm back to my autistic ways of trying to figure out exactly how much I'm eating, how much chicken I'm consuming. I'm weighing my chicken. Now let's get back to, what the fuck is this?
Hennepin County Prosecutor Mary Moriarty moving forward with a local investigation after being shut out of the federal investigation.
We have not made a decision about whether charges are appropriate because we want to make sure we have the evidence.
And this morning, federal investigators reviewing new video in a separate incident, appearing to show Preddy in a confrontation with federal agents in Minneapolis 11 days before he was shot and killed by federal agents. In it, you see a man resembling Preddy shouting at officers, kicking at a taillight as their vehicle drives away. Agents then get out and push him before tackling him to the ground.
16 ounces.
But the agents then get up as others fire tear gas, and the man appearing to be Preddy walks away, a gun seemingly visible on his waistband. We don't know what led up to the altercation. Attorney General Pam Bondi touching down in Minneapolis Wednesday, announcing that at least 16 people have been arrested for allegedly assaulting federal law enforcement. And Governor Tim Walz paying his respects at the site where Preddy was gunned down.
Do you believe that there will be a shift in tone here from the administration after your conversation with the president here on the streets?
I'm not so interested in a shift of tone. We just need them out of here, and we need accountability for what's happened.
Meanwhile, 1,300 miles away, a much different scene at the Dilley Detention Center in Texas. Protesters clashing with law enforcement. Officers deploying tear gas. Our San Antonio affiliate, KSAT reporter Erica Hernandez, in the middle of the crowd.
They told them to move back, and then they did it. And then I just started to hear the pops.
Demonstrators demanding the release of 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos and his father. ICE saying they took custody of the preschooler after detaining his father in their driveway. A federal judge temporarily blocking their deportation. Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro meeting with Liam and his father.
His father said that Liam has been sleeping a lot, that he's been asking about his family, his mom, and his classmates, and saying that he wants to go be back in school.
Meanwhile, Minnesota's chief judge saying that ICE has now violated 96 court orders in 74 separate cases, saying that regardless of politics, that list should give anyone pause, Robin.
Yes, and absolutely so. And Matt, people are asking, what can you tell us about the status of the agent who shot and killed Renee Good?
Well, we know the officers who shot and killed Alex Preddy are on paid administrative leave. Jonathan Ross, the federal agent who shot and killed Renee Good earlier this month in Minneapolis, is not under current active investigation, while local investigators, Robin, continue to be blocked access to key evidence in that case.
All right. I thank Steve, Matt.
We're going to begin this hour, though, with President Trump's immigration crackdown and its impact on the communities. This image, we all remember this, with this little blue bunny hat. 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos sparked an outcry in his little backpack when he and his father were arrested
this is
in
my
Minneapolis.
food.
They have since been moved to a detention facility in Texas, where agents pepper sprayed protesters demanding their release. And this impact of the crackdown is being felt in schools in Minneapolis, where officials say there's a drop in attendance at the schools. Lilia Luciano spoke to the principal at Little Liam's school.
People are not going to work.
No.
They're not leaving the house to buy groceries.
Correct.
So that's where this is all headed.
Yep.
At Columbia Heights Public School in Minnesota, staff are working second shifts to deliver.
How much of this need that you are supplying with this food has to do with the ICE operations?
A majority of it. Just last Friday, I delivered food, and they followed me around out of the trailer park that I was delivering to. And so we've had discussions with our chief of police to say, are we putting a target on our families? And he goes, well, it's probably,
going and delivering.
Yes, but he goes, it's probably safer for you to go in and deliver food than for them to go out.
In an elementary school of about 574 students, administrators say some 24 families have had parents detained under Operation Metro Surge. But it was this image of one of their pre-K students, 5-year-old Liam Conejo Ramos, that went viral. He and his father Adrian were detained in their driveway last week and later transferred to a detention center in Dilley, Texas. Wednesday, Texas Congressman Joaquin Castro visited them and called us afterwards.
Could you give us an update? That is so amazing.
His dad did say that he's been depressed and hasn't been eating especially well. You know, I was very firm about demanding his release, and so we'll keep pushing.
Knowing that he has an advocate down there, too. So thank you.
Absolutely.
Though Liam was asleep, his dad promised to pass along a message his teacher and classmates sent him.
We love you!
A show of strength as they save Liam's place.
And to see the cubby here.
Yeah.
And another hat with the ears. I'm just looking at it.
Yep. And like I said, his stuff's not going anywhere.
I'm sorry, man. But like, when you say, oh, we have to reform these guys, not another dollar until we reform these guys, are you f***ing kidding me? You should be destroying this institution piece by piece, dude.
What would you tell people who are watching this from somewhere else and thinking ICE is doing its job?
Open your eyes. Believe your eyes. Believe what you see. He's not a criminal. It's not politics. It's about treating people like humans.
So the principal told us that folks at the school were relieved this week when a judge banned the government from deporting Liam and his dad. DHS says that they went to arrest Liam's father as a, quote, illegal alien who was released into the country by the Biden administration, that they kept Liam with his father and took them together following the father's wishes because the mother wasn't coming out. The principal tells us that there were other adults who had volunteered to keep Liam safe, but it seems that the agents refused that offer. Kelly?
Yeah, appreciate you bringing us an update on that story about Liam. I think we all were impacted by that, seeing those images, Lilia. Thank you.
That story is so upsetting. I can't get enough of it. I don't understand why he's still in the detention center. When they keep saying the mother refused to get him, it's because the dad was saying, don't come out because you could be arrested too. And they had another child that was on their way back home. Context is so important in this story.
Yeah.
When the violence decreases, we can draw down those resources. But based on the discussions I've had with the governor and the AG, we can start drawing down those resources. As far as
when these guys say when the violence decreases, we can draw down those resources, they should be talking about the violence they're engaging in. This homunculus doing a KFC double down on the ICE operations by being like, oh, we're just going to scale back on some of the most, you know, some of the externalities, some of the excesses is ridiculous. He's doing the same that the Democrats are doing when they tell you, oh, like, you don't understand. We're just scaling back. We're just scaling back, but the things are still going to continue. From their perspective, the problem isn't like kidnapping little kids like Liam. The problem is that you are aware of it and you're mad about it.
those looking for public safety threats being released and do it in the jail with much less people. So the drawdown is going to happen based on these agreements. But the drawdown can happen even more if the hateful rhetoric and the impediment and interference will stop.
Both Democrats and some Republicans call for an investigation into the shooting death of Alex Pretty in Minneapolis. Anti-ICE activists are organizing what they call a nationwide shutdown this Friday. Fox 11's Nick Garcia is live in Downey with what organizers hope the shutdown will accomplish. Nick.
Right, Christine. Well, we're here in Downey this evening because Union del Barrio is holding a training here. They say to help people or teach people how to properly document ICE activity they see. Additionally, organizers of that national shutdown hope that boycott will send a strong message. No work, no school, and no shopping. That's what organizers of Friday's national shutdown are calling for. Local politicians are joining in, like Assemblymember Isaac Bryan, seen in the social media video with protesters over the weekend.
This is a moment for the people of this
Hasanabi head, by the way. Isaac Bryan is.
this country to stand up to this administration and say enough.
I do believe that this will be effective, and I do believe that this is how we will get the federal government to stop its violence against American citizens.
They say the goal of the boycott is to get the federal government to scale down ICE operations. The Trump administration has not indicated immigration enforcement will stop.
We've seen that people power is moving the needle. It's not just moving public opinion, which it certainly is. It led to the demotion of a leading lieutenant in the Trump administration, Bovino.
Several congressional Republicans support investigations into the shooting deaths of Alex Preddy and Renee Good. Texas Senator Ted Cruz calling for the White House to be, quote, more measured in immigration operations. State Senator Perez says enough is enough.
What we have seen taken place over the last several weeks has been incredibly alarming. Our federal government is utilizing federal agents against not just undocumented people, but American citizens.
Now, we also reached out to Republican Congressman Kevin Kiley to get his take on all of this. We didn't hear back from his people. However, he has posted on social media. He's encouraging the temperature to be turned down as far as rhetoric related to all of this, and also calling for more work to be done to prevent more tragedies. Christine?
Hi, Glenn and Lou. Yeah, if you had plans to come to the Stronghold tomorrow and climb, you are not going to be able to. Usually, this place is filled with climbers, chalk, and ropes, but tomorrow...
While I'm pro general strike, this Friday's giving Black Square on Instagram vibes in 2020. My union is not involved and most are not. I know, man. I know. This is not a real general strike, okay? It's not. I know. Without a council comprised of all of the major unions around the nation, it's not going to be a real general strike. But it's still not a bad thing, okay? What are we doing? It's just the same as like No Kings protest, right? This is a step elevated beyond the No Kings protest. You got on the No Kings protest, then you on this. It's just like there's nothing you want then.
Tomorrow, they're shutting their doors, and it's all thanks to that nationwide protest and to show their solidarity. I want to show you some video of this climbing gym. Now, gym owners here say the man who kept their facilities clean for more than 12 years was detained by federal agents over the weekend while walking in South LA. They want to keep his name private, but they say he was racially profiled, taken into custody, and then later deported. As a result, the gym announced it will close both locations tomorrow, joining a nationwide general strike, calling on people not to work, attend school, or to shop. Now, the strike, it's dubbed Ice Out, and it comes amid growing protests against federal enforcement nationwide following recent deadly encounters in Minnesota, as well as ongoing immigration raids all across the country. Now, we did speak with an employee here at the Stronghold Climbing Gym about how it feels working for a place that's become a gathering point for protest and solidarity.
I'm incredibly proud to work here. I am incredibly proud that my employer is taking a stand. We are in a hot spot of this. There are ICE raids going on every day in this neighborhood. And yeah, it's really meaningful to me, and I think to this climbing community, that we are a gym with a strong ethical compass. And yeah, I don't know. I think that it speaks for itself, but to me it means a lot. And they're also choosing to pay all of the employees who would be working that day anyways, which is just like a really stand-up move.
So you just heard right there, they're also paying all of the employees not to work. They're also hosting a sign-making party. That's tonight at their Lincoln Heights location. That's from 5 to 10 o'clock. They're really encouraging climbers to come, make your signs, and then show up and stand up for what they're fighting for. They want their message to be clear. They are here, and this is just a small sacrifice.
Once again, dude, this is like such a short period of time, too. If this
designated the drug cartels
anything
as
like
foreign
this,
terrorist organizations. And for some reason,
everything moves the needle in the appropriate direction in ways that are a lot more important and a lot more impactful than what the national Democrats are doing. Okay. As a former asthma watcher, I can't stand what he's become now. I'm so annoyed with what he is. Ugh. I don't know what he's been saying. I only know that he hasn't really been talking about Tectone, even though normally that would be his bread and butter, drama of that sort. All right, let's hear what Donald Trump is saying.
The help and the support that they need to free themselves from the horrible burden of dependency. The Great American Recovery Initiative will bring together federal, state, local, and private sector resources to support addiction, recovery, treatment, and prevention. And it will help mobilize the full resources and authority of the federal government to help stop this tremendous plague. And I'd now like to invite Secretary Kennedy to start, and then Catherine Burgum, and then I'll sign the order, which I've just signed. And wanted to make sure the signature was good. Took my time, and we get. Let me just see. Pretty good. Not pretty good. Let's give it a 10, okay? For Catherine. But I'd like Bobby to say a few words, and Catherine. Thank you very much, everybody. Please.
Mr. President, thank you for your leadership for signing an executive order that tells the truth about one of the greatest challenges that our country faces. Addiction is not a moral failure. It is a disease. It's chronic, it's treatable, and for too long our nation has responded with fragmentation, with stigmatization, and silence instead of science, compassion, and coordination. Today, President Trump changes that. With the Great American Recovery Initiative, we finally bring the full strength of the federal government together across healthcare, law enforcement, housing, labor, faith communities, and the private sector to save lives, restore families, and rebuild communities that addiction has hollowed out. Nearly 50 million Americans suffer from substance use disorder. Many never receive treatment. Even more don't believe that help is possible. That is not because recovery doesn't work. It's because our systems have failed to reach the people where they are early enough, long enough, and with dignity. This initiative fixes that. We will align federal programs instead of letting them operate in silos. We will set clear, measurable goals and report honestly to the American people. We will use evidence-based care, modern science, and continue.
I don't know what the tangibles are on this, but it's giving First Step Act. You know what I mean? Totally great agenda. Like, unironically, I mean it. I mean this sincerely. Like, this is a good thing. And I feel like they're just doing that to be like, hey, guys, stop yelling at us, okay? But to be fair, I don't know what the actual details are.
It succeeds when people return to their families, their jobs, and their communities with purpose and with hope. As co-chair of this initiative alongside of Catherine Burgum, whose leadership and commitment strengthens this work, I pledge urgency, accountability, and honesty. Catherine and I share the experience of having been addicted and long-term recovery. Almost everybody in this room and almost everybody in our country has been touched by addiction. Steve Witkoff, who's here, had an extraordinary son, Andrew, who was a superstar boy, a straight A student, an athlete, and a wonderful leader, and lost that son to addiction. President Trump has talked about his own families who had a struggle with addiction. All of us are touched. If it touches these people, it can hurt every American. And President Trump has often talked about, with compassion, about the families who lose children to this disease. 100,000 children a year until recently. Now it's about 76,000. Those families are devastated forever. And the cost on it to our country, not only in dollars, but in just the malaise and the despair that it imposes, is incalculable. We are going to listen to states, localities, frontline providers, and tribal nations. We will partner with communities and faith-based organizations. We will work with employers, clinicians, and recovery leaders who know what works on the ground. President Trump has already acted.
What the f***? Pew released Trump approval among 74 subgroups. Trump's only above water among 9 of them. Conservative Republicans, 83-17. Republicans, 73-25. White evangelicals, 69-29. Moderate Republicans, 59-39. White Catholics, 52-47. Ruraloids, 51-47. Wow, that's actually surprising that the ruraloids are almost a 50-50 split at this point. White non-college, still 51-48. White 50 plus, 50-48. Men 50-64, 50-49. He's kind of cooked. But I will say what I say all the time, which is that there's no such thing as a moderate Republican. Please. There's no such thing as a moderate Republican. There's no such room for growth for a strong Republican Party. Stop with this nonsense. The very fact that the so-called moderate Republicans are still 59% on board with Donald Trump's agenda should give you all the evidence you need to stop trying to win these people over with your policies, okay, with your moderacy. It's so dumb. If they'll come on board, they'll come on board. I mean, look at this, dude. Among moderate Republicans, they still have, like, white non-colleges worse performing than moderate Republicans. And these guys are still trying to find the moderate Republicans. Like, you're stupid. Trump, when you make it too easy and cheap to build houses, house prices come down. I don't want to do that. Oh, here we go. Why do approval ratings matter, though? I feel like so many presidents go through slumps with those and nothing happened. Of course, the idea that it's epically low, you have a case for impeachment? No, it's just a way to figure out whether this agenda has the popular mandate that they claim it does or not. That's all it's good for.
Don't get in the way.
No amount of bots on X can convince Americans that their wallets aren't feeling extra light right now. Yes. Moderate Republicans are real, dude. They're called Democrats. I agree. They have a black gay ICE agent now. I mean, the Barbs, dude. The Barbs are working fast.
No, he's here. He's right here.
Oh, don't touch my car. Back up. Don't touch my car.
But you're not going to do nothing.
Don't touch my car.
No, you don't do what you want.
I don't care. Don't touch my car. Don't touch my car.
Barbs are working fast. They've decided that they will be brave and loyal soldiers to the Trump regime. Really highlighting the thing that I keep pointing to, which is that is actually a Maoist third worldist permanent first world genocider movement comprised entirely of the proletarian black and brown folks that are tasked with annihilating entire white families for the crime of their white supremacy. And people seem to not recognize this. Nikki's playing chess, not checkers right now. Chest. Yeah, she's playing chess. Quick question, Nicki Minaj. While you cape for ICE, remind us how you came to America as a child. Louis Pisano, Nikki never once says she supported ICE. Shut the fuck up. Mind your business. You don't want to become the next Barb's target. It's always the same lame people that want to talk about the Queen without having a single fact. Yeah, the Barbs are on their back at this point. Like, there is not really a big initiative here. Yeah, she found out he was on the Epstein list and started foaming at the mouth because she loves sex offenders. Yeah, no, the Barbs are done. I feel like there's not really anyone that's a sane and competent human being that's still a Nicki Minaj fan at this point. I mean, they've been done for a minute. But they're super done now. Except for this guy, who is a gainfully employed Barb.
Don't touch my car.
But you're not going to do nothing.
Don't touch my car.
No, you don't do what you want.
I don't care. Don't touch my car.
This ain't your car. That's her car or his car. That's not your car. He needs assistance. Why can't she say something?
What you ask?
But why can't? So what's your badge number? What is your badge number? Just allow him to say something. Come on, man. Just use a little. Don't touch her.
I will lock your ass up.
No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. No, you won't. For what? No, he's here. He's right here.
Oh, don't touch my
This title is so funny. A black man who's reportedly gay is going viral for being an ICE officer. Heartbreak emoji. Laughing, crying emoji. Reportedly gay. Yeah, the 5-year-old Minnesota boy fell ill and is not doing great in ICE detention. He's been depressed and sad. He's been ill. I've been told he has a fever, so I'm very, very concerned about his well-being. That facility said Zena Stanvik, the superintendent for Liam's Columbia Heights Public School District. We covered it earlier. Bro, what is up with your unk?
So, on the other hand, when you get to Biden,
Cenk Uygur claims President Biden was giving in to the extreme left on immigration and that he had no border enforcement. Uygur says we need to have a border or else we'll have 3 billion people in our country. I don't want to look at this, man. Please stop. I don't. Why do you guys show me this shit, man? I don't want to. Come on, bro. That's my blood relative, okay? That's my blood relative. It's enough that you already have to experience this in your own family. Why are you making me also experience it in my own family in real time? You know what I mean? Control your unk, bro. Brother, my uncle has seen me shit my pants, okay? It's the same principle behind why I have an easier time convincing your MAGA parents than you do. You think he's going to listen to me? No, he does not. Same reason why your parents don't listen to you. And it's even worse in this case because he's a very stubborn man. And also on top of that, he's a political commentator. You know what I mean? It's like shaky Gurga. Impossible to deal with. Like, he's a force to be reckoned with. Anyway, Terrence K. Williams, dear Ilhan Omar, I spoke with Poison Control. Their instructions were very clear. You didn't follow any of them. They said, if you're sprayed with an unknown substance, get the fresh air immediately. Do not touch your face. Remove container, blah, blah, blah. All this shit. Ilhan Omar throws it down, says, I didn't do any of those things because I feared losing my dignity more than I feared losing my life. Something you coward losers will never understand. So f*** off. God, she is so amazing. I love her so much. But I love her so much. We do not deserve Ilhan Omar. I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I guess I did see the beautiful and brave people of Minneapolis. They do kind of deserve. If there is one constituency that deserves Ilhan Omar, it is actually Minneapolis. I totally understand why she is perfectly positioned and perfectly protected in her district, by the way. It's just, she is so incredible. Says you, Hasi, I deserve Ilhan. Yeah. Can we talk about the fact that Biden was trying to railroad her with a investigation? I did. I saw that. I didn't want to even cover it. I don't want to even dignify it. Schumer's office says a bipartisan deal is reached to extend funding until the end of September for agencies under 5 bills and pass a 2-week stopgap for DHS to give time for ICE negotiations. Senate GOP leaders trying to get all 100 members to agree to vote tonight. Yay. Bipartisanship. Yay. We did it. We did it, Joe. We did it, Joe. And then they're going to spend the next media messaging cycle yelling at their left flank, which is not even their left flank at this point. It's the Barbaras and the Debras, too, about how silly and stupid they are for having pie-in-the-sky ideas. I appreciate that you are not afraid to show your admiration for women. What the I can't tell if you're being serious or not. Yay. Let's go to CNN. Let's see what the fuck they're covering right now live. Yeah, we should be prosecuting and persecuting ICE, bro. I don't want to do no abolition of ICE. We should be persecuting and prosecuting these.
I think it's a winnable seat, but we got to make sure our focus is on the right thing and not on the past.
I was trying to figure out where in the kumbaya versus all-out war state Trump and Kemp are right now. I feel like they're still kumbaya'd from the last kumbaya. I'm not totally sure.
That'll be tough, but I will say we all know Trump likes to win. Yeah. And so my thing is, Mr. President, we know that there have been some disagreements between you and the governor, but how about this? Add a big victory by winning back that seat to your legacy. I think Trump would love that.
Same question to you. If you're DSCC right now.
You're excited, and you might be calling Marjorie Taylor Greene to get a little talking point as well.
Come on.
If Marjorie Taylor Greene starts showing up at DS events in the off, my head will explode. I don't have the capacity.
Please call her. That would actually help on the Republican side.
Sure, Michael, you may see. Appreciate you guys.
Chef Lena is taking the Tide Boosted test.
Let's see. Bro, let's see how the let's see how the libs respond, in my opinion. I don't think they're going to take this standing. I don't think they're going to sit around and be like, oh, great, you gave us like nothing. You give us absolutely nothing. Bottom of the barrel, fantastic. My speculation, my suspicion is because these like establishment dem promoting liberal content creators are constantly following behind and never actually have their own perspectives, but simply just like sit there and try to defend whatever dumb the Democrats are doing. I suspect that the anger and resentment that people feel towards the Republicans and the lackluster response from the Democrats will not cause people to go, okay, we got what we wanted.
You, obviously, security tackled him. It looks like he...
I wasn't able to make contact with him.
You did not, yes. Although that image has gotten everywhere today.
Yeah, he was saved by the security.
He was saved by the security. Yeah. I guess my question to you is, you obviously, security tackled him. It looks like he...
I wasn't able to make contact with him.
You did not, yes. Although that image has gotten everywhere today.
Yeah.
Bro, if you watch that video, she's right. Security saved his ass, bro. Ilhan Omar was ready to throw down. Straight up. She did not even flinch. She just went right for it, too. Queen. So amazing. What is this leaked ICE footage?
Arrest as many people that touch you as you want to. Those are the general orders all the way to the top. Everybody gets it if they touch you. You hear what I'm saying? Less legals. We're going to look at shipping tractor trailer loads of that shit in here. So you catch what I'm. It's all about us now. It ain't about them. Professional, legal, ethical, moral. You know what we're talking about. Legal, ethical, moral. You're on camera. But other than that, it's what we do.
What city is it, Chief?
This is our city. Arrest as many people that touch you as you want to. Those are the general orders all the way to the top. Everybody gets it if they touch you. You hear what I'm saying? Less legals. We're going to look at shipping tractor trailer loads of that shit in here. So you catch what I'm. It's all about us now. It ain't about them. Professional, legal, ethical, moral.
I know what he sounds like right at this point because I've heard it so many times, but it still shocks me. Like, he has the most 5'3" voice I've ever heard in my life, bro. He is such a little munchkin, straight up. He's a little baby man. It's crazy. It's crazy how much of a little baby man he is. Oh, teeny tiny man. He's a little guy. Why'd they let this Oompa Loompa run this agency, dude? Hideo Kojima character, tiny baby man. One battle after another wasn't radical enough. I mean, it's not Minneapolis like I've seen some people saying it is. The trees are green and it's not warm enough for short sleeves. No, I know. It don't matter. The attitude is still the same though, right? Like, that's the whole point. Think Peace had a banger on Ilhan.
Ilhan Omar is about to beat that nigga. Hey, Ilhan Omar, if you watch this video, twin, throw the punch next time. We not worried about decorum. We not worried about none of that these days. No. You can throw that punch next time. Cause what the f? They spraying liquid on you. That's fucking bioterrorism. They spraying skunk spray. That's some Israeli. You know what I mean? Like, nah, girl. Throw that punch. Throw that two-piece next time. We saw you. We saw you with.
She really did though. She was ready to go. She was ready to fuck throw bows. Now it's funny because like Republicans are such p***s that they were like, oh, this must be fake because she immediately rushed to clamp on him. And two, it must be fake because she went back and delivered her speech and wouldn't get discouraged by this derailment. And that's because they've never had any conviction whatsoever. They don't know what that looks like. They don't know what that feels like. And also because our president obviously faked it, okay? Our president obviously faked it. Let's be real. Donald Trump, fake assassination. I'm straight up on board with that now, okay? Blue and on all the way. Donald Trump faked his own assassination. They murked Corey Pastrami or whatever, Corey Contemporary, specifically so that they could get a good shot with Donald Trump going, oh, fight. It was fake, okay? Fake, which is why they think Ilhan Omar faked it.
Yeah, nigga. Yeah, nigga.
Yeah, he pulled a Bolsonaro, Mr. Flop, dude. That guy. Donald Trump. Everybody knows you can't regrow cartilage, okay? If a AR-15 round blew out his ear cartilage, you would see it. His ear is perfectly fine. It's obviously fake. He faked it. What is it? I saw this on my timeline. This is fantastic. This is the Hassan derangement syndrome they talk about because how are you going to post the same video of Hassan the Hun 5 times and it all flopped? It's so funny. These guys just like, you could have a fascist military takeover and these dumb would still be like, but Hassan though, it's awesome. Good luck, guys. I think what these guys don't realize is like, they're basically behaving in the same way that Andrew Cuomo did at the failed election. What makes you think that you, as a random ass on the internet, are actually going to be able to claw back the way people are feeling, actually going to be able to like pull back support to your side, your lack of interest in doing anything? When Andrew Cuomo tried to be like, oh, but you're associated with Asanta, Zoran Mamdani. Guess who's the mayor now? Zoran Kwame Mamdani. Like, what makes you think you are going to find success? What makes you think you are going to find success? Multiple billionaires got together and dumped approximately $30 million into that ad campaign in the last week of the New York mayoral election. Stop giving him tips. I'm not giving him tips. I'm telling him, stop with this fucking idiotic bullshit. You're wasting everybody's time. If you're a fucking liberal, act like a liberal. If you're an oppositional figure to the Republicans, start fighting the Republicans. Stop trying to come after me. You're not going to make the fucking Barbaras and the Deborahs agree with you. They don't have the same allegiance that you have concocted towards the Democratic Party. They have an allegiance to the truth. They have an allegiance to resisting. They have an allegiance to their neighbors. Okay? And until you realize that, until you understand that, until you recognize that there's a reason for the Democratic Party's historic disapproval in this very moment when they're supposed to be the only game in town as an oppositional figure to the Republican Party that these guys are clearly despising, so much so that they're going out, taking up to the fucking streets. Until you realize that, like, I'm not the fucking enemy here, Republicans are, you're not going to get anything across. You're just going to be a loser that no one cares about. Stop. And it's ironic because these guys only want, like, my reaction, right? So when they hear my reaction, they go, oh, we got him. He's mad. He's mad because we're winning. You're not winning. You're only farming like 30 likes on Twitter. That's it. You're only farming the same rehashed, blue no matter who, Democratic incompetence should be rewarded take amongst the same stupid free 99 DNC, the DNC analysts that you're not even a part of. At least when David Short comes after me and calls me he at least gets paid by the Democratic Party. At least when Matty Iglesias says, oh, we shouldn't be listening to this guy, he at least gets paid by the Democratic Party. You don't. You're an independent content creator. Why the fuck are you LARPing like you work for the DNC? Those guys are at least trying to defend their jobs by lying to the American public, by lying to the Democratic electeds, but at least they're trying to defend their $100,000 a year salaries, if not more than that. You are making $0 a year doing this shit. You're doing it for free. It doesn't make any sense. How are you bootlicking for a party to be incompetent to no real audience that exists, by the way? Like I said, at least when people like Matty Iglesias or David Shore or all these other like institutional Dem consultants, when they yell about me or when they talk shit about me, that makes sense, okay? They could do the Ezra Klein method and act like they don't know who the fuck I am. I would much prefer that, of course. I think that's a better approach in general. At least he has the dignity and the decency to not stand in opposition to like the shit that we're saying here, right? But it's mind-boggling to me that there's so many liberal content creators on here that are speaking to no one. They are just pure reactionary. They've like carved out this weird fence-sitting space where on the one hand, they're like, you know, I oppose the Republicans, I oppose fascism, but also, you know what the real problem in America is? Communism. What communism? What communism? You should be begging for communists to come back. What the hell are you talking about? You like the weekends? Think of communists, okay? Trade unions, socialists, and communists are the reason why we have a robust infrastructure. They're the ones who applied the pressure to FDR to get the New Deal done, and you don't know anything about your own American history, so you just sit here and constantly chirp about anti-communism, anti-communism, anti-communism. Communists are the real threat. What the fuck are you talking about? We're the communists. The reason why we're in the situation that we're in is because liberals have been so focused on destroying their left flank that there is no real opposition in this country to the fascist movement. Holy shit. Hutz said he would rather deal with a pro-segregationist than deal with a socialist. Yes. And that's precisely the reason why that bald only going to speak to an audience of like 300 people that don't want to actually watch a person who is an open sex pest. So they'll actually get the watered down version of the same talking points from a balding, irrelevant, former COD player. Okay. That's the reason. That's the space that he occupies. Okay. He's going to max out at 300 people every single time and keep doing those debate shows, which by the way, I don't want to, I'm not disrespecting the debate shows. It's fine. It's just like, get better subjects, guys. I can't believe that like they sincerely argue on whether or not I'm worse than Adolf Hitler for like weeks on end. Like if that's a point of contention in the liberal debate sphere on Twitch, you're cooked. The fuck are you doing? There's a reason why like Sean the Black and Michael from Pennsylvania, Gremlo, and all those other guys don't actually entertain this shit. It's because it's so silly and unproductive. They're actually out there doing the work. Cinemarxism too. Oh. Hassan Glazing Hudge saying he gets 300. What is this? Clavicular goes off on D?
Nerd loser.
Face.
Autistic clips.
Man, look at this nerd loser.
She just licked his face.
That's okay.
You're getting cut.
I mean, let's be real. No English, no.
It's like debate autism versus looks maxing autism. It's just, I guess it is fair to call this autistic clips.
Oh, what the man. This like libtard's relationship is so disgusting to me. People always say, oh, collab with Destiny. He had his calling 2 months ago when I was a nobody. He could have did the collab. Now, who even knows who Destiny is? Nobody gives a f about Destiny. All right? Nobody gives a f.
Bro, this dude is so barred out all the time. It's actually crazy. I don't know how he's like dead on arrival. Are these guys on a delay? What's happening? It's not dead on arrival. They found a bipartisan funding vehicle now.
Senate Republicans accused their
to at least extend it for like another week, a couple weeks or so. A couple weeks or so. What is this? Is frozen over? Reddit is defending your take. What the f? Destiny accuses Hasan of loving TikTok under China but hating it under American ownership. Does Destiny use TikTok? I swear the day it changed ownership, I was seeing articles that TikTok is blocking anti-ICE videos and mentions of Epstein law. Is that not objectively worse? These have to be bot comments. TikTok is essentially now a government-ran censored platform and more censored now than it was before. Now that the owner has close ties to the admin. Yeah, Hasan is right. It's worse under American ownership than Chinese ownership. What's even the debate? But have you ever considered Hasan bad? My algo was perceptibly worse to the point that I haven't been on it for a few weeks. To be fair, American ownership is censoring it way harder than China did. Yes, guys. And this is not because China is some fucking magnanimous country. It's because China has no investment in censoring the Epstein files. If a Chinese company is owning TikTok, they're just simply not going to censor that shit. Like, I saw an argument where someone was like, well, don't you think this is the same as like censoring Tiananmen Square? No, I don't. You want to know why? Because I'm not Chinese. I'm American, okay? I can get plenty of information on Tiananmen Square regardless, whether it be on TikTok or elsewhere. What the f are you talking about? Of course I care about talking about American Tiananmen Square, not the Chinese one. Who gives a shit about the Chinese one? Oh my God. These people are so dumb. Like, I sincerely saw someone make that argument. Well, they were blocking Tiananmen Square posting. Yeah, okay. Who gives a f? Are you Chinese? You're American. You're literally advocating for the censorship to be implemented in America now that it's in American hands. Of course, the Chinese government has no interest in censoring that is pertinent for Americans to communicate. That's precisely the reason why they bought TikTok. Because the Chinese government and the Chinese company had no investment in censoring things that made Israel look bad. Okay? Censoring the truth that made Israel look bad. No wonder. Ugh. I know the subreddit is a Hasan-hating circle jerk, but Hasan is right here. The U.S. government is censoring TikTok more heavily than the Chinese government did. I'm sure all the people up in arms about the Biden admin asking YouTube to remove COVID misinformation will be furious by this. This isn't a gotcha that he thinks he is. They're censoring Epstein and anti-MAGA content now. Also, most notably, anti-Israel content. Netanyahu talked about this. No wonder Destiny has a terrible take here. I am less scared of China having my daily data than I am the government. Yes, finally. Even Redditors are saying the things that I've been saying for months. I cannot believe it. How did this happen? Holy shit. This is yet another one of those instances where, like, you can't out-meet what people feel, okay? Just like you can't out-talk people's pockets hurting, you can't out-talk people when they actually literally experience unimaginable censorship on a moment's notice, on a whim, right after the American takeover happens on TikTok, where they're like, what the fuck is this? God, bro. Hasan is right. Has frozen over, it seems. I'm sure they'll delete this post now that like everyone is dunking on Destiny, obviously, because that's usually what they do. They'll if they do like a post that ends up working in opposition to what Destiny wanted, they used to delete it. I don't know what the new moderation team looks like. Nope, he just dislikes Hasan. Everyone using it is hating on the app. Even videos that have nothing to do with this are stuck at 0 views. It's funny because sometimes Hasan gets brought up and this whole attitude changes. I remember seeing one clip in particular where he was reacting to a bunch of people with the same take, but when Hasan showed up, he started yelling. If you have this clip, please share it because I need to laugh today. Oh my God, TikTok is so devastatingly bad that it's caused Redditors on LSF. It's caused Redditors on LSF to actually side with me. The hell has frozen over. Wait a couple more weeks. They're going to be talking about, how they understand why Palestinians resist against Israel. You know what I mean?